This unusual team is a blend of Europe, Asia, and North America, whose third-place finish in the NA Regionals for the Major turned heads. Originally called March Out of the Army as a tribute to their new captain, they built on their early success to place second in WSOE in Las Vegas last month. But Kuala Lumpur is their biggest challenge yet. J.Storm. A fresh competitor to come out of China, but one overflowing with experience. This team placed top 6 in Hamburg, and with veterans Fenrir and Sylar at the helm, we likely only saw a glimpse of their potential. Third-place finishers in the Chinese regionals, this is a team on the rise. The question is, how far will they go? Team Aster.
Welcome back to Malaysia for live coverage of the Kuala Lumpur Major. Our focus changes from the upper bracket to the lower bracket as we focus on the deadly best of ones, the last 2 of which will be shown in a row this afternoon. We also change up on our panel as well. We welcome back some more professional beings to the panel.
It's hard to be less professional than your last guest. Let's be real.
We had fun, Kyle. It was fine.
Where's the fun when I'm on the panel? That's what I
don't
gotta know.
We don't. You're obviously not on enough black panels. So if you're on with black, then things just get out of hand.
I can see that.
Can't tell you how or why. They just do. It's just Dominic things.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, Best Jay?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm excited.
I love
for
your
the best
T-shirt,
of
by the
ones.
way.
Oh, thank you.
I know I've mentioned this to you several times. Wish they were still in stock.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I would wear one literally on screen.
I need to put them back in stock. You do. You better not be teasing me, man.
I'm not. I would wear one.
Okay.
And I never wear T-shirts on.
Yeah.
on
There
shows,
you go.
yeah.
There you go.
Mr. POD.
Duh.
Yeah. Interesting matchup, this one, because in theory, Aster were probably the team from the group stages were the odd ones out in the sense that almost every group, apart from maybe the Alliance Forward one, panned out how we thought. But Aster, that was a tough group to be in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Yeah. So they're kind of unlucky to be down here, which would, in theory, then mean they're hot favourites.
I mean, I don't know if they're unlucky. I mean, they're unlucky in the group they ended up in, right?
Right.
But at the same, like, their players are, like, if you look at some of them, like, I don't know their mid player, but, like, Fenrir, for example, like, that guy, he's always been successful.
He's been around forever.
Sylar, like,
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of that guy.
So,
Yeah, I mean, in theory, this was supposed
So-
to be an all-star team, Kyle.
It is.
Is
I mean,
it?
Yeah. They
Is it
lost.
still, though? Because don't they have lost D-Stones now, and they've got to...
It's tough to come to events like this. Like, they did look real good against EG. They
Yeah.
won the first game.
Mm.
They lost an hour-long game to them. Hour 16, actually. They lost. Now you're playing Vici, a team from your region.
Yeah,
it's
different. It's different.
The skill, the strategy kind of goes out the window because they've probably scrimmed against each other 10, 20 times over the last couple months. So I think that they'll take this series, or, well, it's one game, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you never know. Mook could play Timbersaw. Everything's out the window.
Timbersaw, what else? They have, do they have a Brood player? Or was it this
Yeah.
Brood player that lost versus Tinkerman?
it was the Braille Brood that
That
lost
was-
them the game.
But
pretty
Moon
much.
plays a really good Brood.
Yeah, I
right?
think
Yeah, he
they.
does.
Yeah.
Alright, so they would swap that up.
I feel
And
like
everyone
when
can play Huskar. So
What I've
there's
been
a
watching
chance.
them though is it seems like no matter what hero they're playing, Braille plays mid.
Yeah.
So that's I think like that's a pretty significant limitation for J.Storm that I've seen so
Yep.
far.
Hmm.
Like there was the game where he played Terrorblade and they put him mid, then he played Brood, they put him mid. Like it's just I feel like a lot of teams have the capabilities of swapping up the lanes. It's not something you like want to do all the time, but if in the case of like these Brood strats and these like niche heroes, I think it's really important that you can do that, especially when your Brood player is your carry player.
Yeah. You don't want to be like BSJ and just go to the safe lane exclusively because you
Mhm.
can get punished. You got to be able to mix and match like you see VP.
Sometimes I
Secret.
jungle.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh, you have
So
one mid hero
I-
too. Yeah, I've seen you play Lena, man.
Yeah,
You carried me a couple of times.
Yeah, pilot down.
That's true.
Always been a fan of my
Mm.
Lena. You'd always tell me that. I'm a lose lane, win game kind of player on
Yeah.
that. On that here.
That's the NA special right there.
Yeah.
Indeed. We picked out a couple of players to highlight on both of these teams. Kyle, why?
Oh, well,
Why these two?
I think Sylar and Moo are kind of the anchors of their squad. in the good way, not the bad way. They're the ones that the team usually will play around, and they're also, I would say, the most consistent. The mid players for both sides are very unproven, new, not just to like the team, but the scene. And I think that if either side is going to win, it's going to be backed by a really nice performance by one of these guys.
I mean, that's the key, gents, isn't it? These two, they're the win condition almost for the entire team, aren't they?
Yeah, I feel the difference in like how it's going to be. Like if Aster wins, it's just going to be Sylar and a Terrorblade like running them over.
Yeah.
If
that was going to be my point.
Yeah,
They both play Terrorblade.
but if Storm wins,
that
will be Moo on a last pick Timbersaw, you know?
Yeah.
Or on a Brood.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I want to see him play Monkey King too. Like I know,
I have no
like
idea.
I
Does
don't
he
want to
play
like an early pick. He plays a lot of that here. I just feel like other than Terrorblade, I feel like all of Moo's heroes are very active, like more semi-carry or like enabling type heroes, like you mentioned, like the Timbersaws. So that's why when they put like Brile on the Terrorblade, the Broods, I feel like that's more of J.Storm's playstyle. So it's just funny because you have these two carries that I agree with Kyle that they are kind of the anchors for their team, but they're also very different, like in terms of their playstyle and the hero pools.
Sylar's.
No, I was going to say, I'm sure he would love to swap that second, third at TI for at least one.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
I think
that's rough, isn't it?
A lot of people talk about FY as the Chinese player that's been the closest, robbed the most. But man, Sylar is a really good argument as well. 3 times in the top 3 at TI. Actually, 3 times third place. If I'm not. No, actually,
no,
second, second, third.
Yeah,
that's.
I mean, that second they got was also like a miracle run, kind of. Like that team, like they had one thing they did and
did it really well.
Too. Yeah.
Was that TI 4?
Didn't get figured out until the final.
Stomped in the finals.
Yeah.
They stomped one game in the final. I think.
Yeah,
but
then they still won. It was 3-1.
They got figured out.
That was arguably the most.
It's okay, Kyle. You can say it was the most boring TI final we've had.
That was the good old Shadow Shaman.
For years, Paul.
I do not hate them. I'm just, it was a boring final.
Wasn't the best.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Well, I'm a fan. The problem is that we're getting out of track here, but some of these guys were on Victory before. It's the same old thing, and they've done something similar recently, and it's the play style. It's very complete, I guess, is the right way of saying it from a positive point of view. But as a fan watching, it can be a bit boring sometimes because they're very methodical, aren't they? They're like, we're going to take this top racks, and then we're going to back off, and then we're going to get this racks, and then we're going to back off, and then we're going to get this tower, and then we're going to back off, and it's very monotonous. You see it so long.
It's going to get phased out though, like we saw in the EG NIP series, and in the way Secret plays as well. VP. Dota's a lot more now about aggression all over the map. It reminds it's almost like guerrilla warfare now. And I think Dota's kind of progressed to the point where people are playing the game I don't want to say like as it's intended, but if you were to
I think there's room for plenty of styles, aren't there?
Yeah, well, if you let a machine learn how to play this game for 10, 15 years, I think this is pretty similar to what you would see. It's like abusing creep waves, eating the map, and being able to play fast all around. Lots of global mechanics.
I mean, how they used to play, right? It's like they would just keep taking these game-losing or game-winning fights, kind of like commit heavily to 5-on-5, like push a tower, and then like either you fight them, and if you fight them, you lose, or if you beat them, like they'll do it again, like and their chance decreases by like 20% that they'll succeed, and then maybe they lost games, right? So eventually they lose or they win.
I was going to bring that up. I mean, when you've got a team like that where they've finished second so often, even their own social media teams start memeing them by changing the color of the logo to gold because it was silver. Then you start to go, hang on a minute, maybe this is a mental thing rather than actually anything to do with the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I want to go off of what you guys just said is that I feel like Dota, when you say it's being played the way it's meant to be played, like players are good enough nowadays that for the most part they don't mess up unless it's forced. Like you have to catch them off guard. And I feel like a lot of the games I see, the best strategies, like these team secrets, I feel like nobody's prepared for what they're doing. Like they're pressuring you at multiple points on the map, they're throwing curveballs at you, and it's like the reason why people look so stupid sometimes playing against it, they've never seen it, like, and that's what defines like your Dota skill, your experience. Like if you've never seen something, like some of the best players in the world can just look clueless in the moment.
And because the skill gap is closed, so that if you're going to win, you need to abuse different methods of achieving victory conditions, like item decisions. I mean, to be fair, like we saw Ramses and no one, like their BKB timings that last game were nearly frame perfect. But it's more about team play, the way you hit your timings together, and playing around objectives than it is, hey, I'm better than you, so we win.
Draft underway. Necro first pick from Aster. Something the Chinese teams really like that Necro, don't they?
They do. Aster specifically are big fans. XXS loves his Necro.
Vici loves it too, I believe. I think they first picked it.
Yeah.
Like will we see a Shadow Demon is the question.
Yeah, that's another one, isn't it?
Banned
That's
or
a
picked?
proper
No.
Chinese
There are a
special.
bunch of heroes you might get baited into picking, and that you probably don't want to pick too early. Like, you can pick these Oracle, you can pick Ancient Apparition, you can pick Shadow Demon. Like, there are a lot of heroes, but all of them are like, they're kind of weird. You want to wait a bit before you pick.
Yeah,
if you don't have a really nice like draft lineup.
Do you guys think that Chinese teams in particular, do you think that they get stuck with stuff sometimes and they don't react the same way? Because I see Virtus Pro and Secret are probably the two biggest examples, and Liquid are before them. They react to whoever they're playing regionally. They get it. They understand that they prioritize different heroes. The Chinese teams don't always seem to do that. Probably Vici are one of those that do, but the rest don't. They kind of, no, we know what we're playing, we like what we're playing, it works.
That's how I think the Chinese region's kind of always been, though. They're slower to adapt to shifts in the meta, but they also assimilate those new ideas better than the other regions. Yeah. So once they know something works, you give it a week, and now it's theirs too.
Yeah. Right. And honestly, a lot of the time they have the best meta coming into a tournament.
Yeah.
Like
that's
just like if you go and scrim in China or play their pubs, they're usually like there's stuff there that's really good.
Yeah, and real quick, this is somewhat unrelated, but I just wanted to address. People have been complaining about the current meta. I'm just like, do you not remember the TI4 Death Ball, the hoo ha ha, the DP gyro every game? Like, I love watching Dota right now. Like, there's so much potential that I feel like our jobs are both easy and impossible.
But I think that's for me, it's about pubs versus pro, right?
Yeah.
The pubs kind of suck right now, I have
Well,
to say.
true.
Yeah. Right? So I think it's, if you play a lot, when I don't play a lot, but even when I do, I'm kind of, really, this again? But it's, if that's the general feeling, because we've been in the patch long, then I can kind of get why fans are like, come on, let's something new, please. Whereas from the pro point of view, I agree with you. I'm loving things right. This is great.
Here's an easy solution, Just start queuing random draft, guys. This goes for pros mostly. That's what they play in China. There's no whining on Weibo. You know why? Because you play a game with a hero pool of 50. Yep. So, yeah, you can't spam 3 heroes every single game because there's only half the pool available.
Okay.
Stop whining, QRD. Thanks.
All right, I like that. But I saw a suggestion in one of those, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of the guy, but he said, why can't you be stopped from playing the same hero after you've played it 3 times in a row? That would be also very good, because then you've got to learn something else.
That's the same as the change. That's a Band-Aid, the same way removing creep pulling from the initial creep wave.
Yeah.
But it's fine for the rest of the game. It doesn't actually solve anything.
Right.
I mean, personally, I have days where I want to really practice a hero.
Right,
like,
and that's the other thing, isn't it?
So, like, if I want to play it 5 games in a row,
right. But isn't that then the argument to that one is don't play that ranked?
Yeah.
I know, exactly. But I'm just throwing in what people have said. Like, and it's a fair point in the sense that you're supposed to play this game and react to the bans and picks that you have in your team to play for your team, right? Yeah. Rather than saying, I'm just going to play Timbersaw all day long. Well, which I totally get from a practice point of view, right? How do you please both sides?
Yeah, it's just like the high-level Dota is like, if you can't practice at the tier these players are at and unranked or anything like that.
That's the problem, isn't it?
Like, what people don't realize is they're not, like, practicing the mechanics of the hero. They're practicing playing that hero under the duress and, like, meta changes, like, against these really good players. Like, if you don't play a lane against good players, you're not actually understanding what the lane matchup is or anything like that. And so I just – the thing about this meta for me is I just want the overall – like, rules of the game is what I want to change. I don't actually mind, like, the heroes and, like, the dynamic of that. I think competitive is still very exciting. But, like, I want people to have to figure out what the optimal, like, rules of the game are. Like,
do you want to have almost like a complete reset then?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, whenever they make patches, like, a lot of the most significant changes that people don't see are the ones that are just overall changes to the game. You know, the bounty rune additions, the shrines, you know, the denied mechanics, the Roche location, like that kind of stuff.
But we have had some of that this year, haven't we? Because we've had, if you think back to the start of the year, the way that the styles of play were, we were very much 3 cores, 2 supports, pretty standard, straightforward stuff, 2-1-2. But it's moved around a lot now. I mean, look what Secret are doing. They've kind of got like 4 cores sometimes.
But the thing is, they're shifting their lineups to try and, to BSJ's point, play to the rules in an ideal fashion.
Right.
The problem is that if you can establish, like, games are going very long, because if you establish map control and just acquire bounty runes and Roche, you're going to grow your advantage far more significantly than in years past. It's a lot harder to come back if you don't have a method of acquiring bounty runes specifically, because they're worth so much, especially when you consider double rune spawn at 40 minutes. If you can get both of those, you get some, like, DD on your carry, arcane rune on your mid, whatever. Like, how do you fight into
Some
that?
of the craziest changes are those, like, and also like the 30-minute double catapults. That was probably earlier this year. Like, people don't realize how big of a deal that kind of stuff is to like the overall how long these games go, the way these teams try to win, and that's what I mean. I want to.
Do you know that this is super interesting? But there is a draft underway, and I feel like we've neglected it a little bit. We should do a show or something. That's what we should probably do, just to talk about this stuff. Maybe we do one after 7:20 comes out. However, we've got 6 picks. Nothing crazy in there.
It's all kind of been response pick after response pick. Bane's like a direct support counter to Undying.
No, but Bane is also very good against Necrophos. Like, you can save the Reaper. You can, like, Necro wants to be able to play high up by himself, right? And you can, like, the grip, basically.
You just need to have some hero that these 3 can play around. Because at the moment, Bane, Mirana, Phoenix, like, you're all trying to play the outskirts of a fight. You can't hard commit. They don't have any ability to poke or really initiate. And if they don't pick something that can just get in to a fight, you're going to have all of Aster's heroes just going to run at them. And PL's quite nice for that.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, right?
Yeah.
Like, it takes a while until he wants to run in.
It's also a bit early. It's not the greatest PL game, in truth. It's nice against Undying, to an extent against Necro as well, but...
I mean, if you're talking about going in, like, they're kind of building up this lineup where they... Like, you commit immediately, right? Like, everyone goes in, so there's several targets. They don't have much AoE on Aster. So, like, the Phoenix dives in, eggs, the Mirana leaps in, and then the PL goes in too. Like, you guys go in all at the same time.
It's nice against the Tomb, but this is such an NA draft.
Yeah, it's...
No, I'm just worried about like what they want to lane against this Necro right now. I'm not completely... Like, I'm guessing the PL will just go against him.
I just hate these 2, like, weaker supports that need level 6. We saw this earlier. I think the EG lineup that, like, Rubik Tiny kind of fell into the same. That's not as bad, but I've seen, like, you know, Crystal Maiden Phoenix or Silencer Phoenix, like, that kind of died out after ESL, and it's, I think, for good reason, where not only is it a bit weaker in lane, though Bane's probably the strongest range support, you just don't have any hero that can influence the lanes if you aren't able to sit in one.
Oh, I mean, I feel Bane is still that kind of hero that can do that. Like, he's like very hard to trade with. Very few heroes can trade with that guy.
But the thing is, Undying can. So if you put an Undying Necro or
Undying
Necro
gets weird.
Tiny,
Undying is weird versus Bane. Like, you can trade for him for a bit, but eventually you're gonna lose. Like, you're just gonna have to go and heal too much.
Oh, that's a pick.
Yep.
I like it, honestly.
Just look at the sustain.
Yeah, it's tough for Storm.
Generally, though, if they could make... Yeah, this Phoenix is gonna be a 4. Like, playing Spectre into Phoenix is very bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the worst matchups, I think.
That's true.
Like,
they do need something to kill this egg.
Like, when he eggs... Like, when he haunts and he eggs, that's just... it makes it very hard to play with the Spectre.
Yeah, it does feel like both teams really just sticking to the script. I'm surprised to see, like, an Undying was picked into a Mirana and a Phoenix. A Bane was picked into an Undying. Now Spectre into Phoenix. It's
these best of ones, though, they're a bit like that, aren't they? They're like opposite ends of the... You either get super cheesy or super standard. There's no kind of middle ground of, oh, actually, that would work, or we're good on this.
Yeah.
I actually like the Tombstone versus Egg, though. I think it's one of the few skills that actually beat that skill in how it... Because it just keeps building up.
It goes both ways, though. You can make the argument when
you mean
pick
you
Phoenix
egg on the
Undying.
tomb and then you kill the tomb like that?
Yeah. Well, it's more that they're both these, you know, monuments you throw down in the middle of a team fight that are hit-based and force enemies away. So
I mean, the problem is, like, that if the tomb dies, it dies. If the egg dies, the Phoenix dies. That's like the...
You're just biased because you think Undying is OP.
I think it's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Well, PL's like by far the best tombstone killer in the game.
Yeah, I'm honestly, like, playing Undying as PL is it's awful. Like, laning stage you can get away with it for a bit, and then it feels absolutely terrible.
Yeah, I like that they, I believe, saved last pick for Bryle. It could be his Mirana mid, but I think, like, all these NA mids, man, CCNC complains about it on Twitter. You know, that 10th pick is huge, and every NA mid player is very competent when it comes to choosing one of their 7 heroes to win the game.
Yeah.
No, but I think you're right about Storm's lineup, though. I would like to have a hero that can go, like, mech pipe, Crimson, like team fight items. I think it's going to be very hard if they don't have that.
I think that's a really good point, and something that's underrated at the moment in the meta. You'll never see Secret play a game without that hero that can purchase
I've seen that
items.
in 2 games now, where the Magnus has like been stubborn in going blink
Yeah,
instead of just manning up and going. These
Why not a Magnus that does that stuff that you just said?
yeah, but then
So
you
that's
have to
his
have that in your head. You have to do that because like you can't go blink Magnus this game. It's a Tombstone. There's a Spectre.
It feels like it's all just we were kind of shown the way from OG, right? Because that's how they won TI. Like they stacked sustain items on top of heroes like Spectre and Ember and PL, abused survivability, and inevitably pulled out great wins. And what's this? There we go, baby.
There we go, baby.
We were saying.
Okay, let me think.
Called it.
Where is it? And there it is. So is that the game-winning 10th pick?
I mean, Mu went 16-1 with that hero at TI 6, 15-1, something like that. He only lost a game to Wings. We said the last pick Timbersaw was probably the best this team could pull out, and I think it's a great Timbersaw game.
The only way they have to deal with it is Necro, and that's like not exactly.
I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Like it depends. I don't know if he sees a lane where it's like I can stomp this lane. Because I think like what counters this hero is like these continuous stuns, which Earthshaker has, and like the Reaper, Tiny has a long stun combo. Yeah. And they still don't have these mech pipes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm a bit worried, but like it depends on the lanes, right? Like if you roll away with the lanes here, they're just gonna get too farmed.
Well, Twitter suggests that Storm have no chance. 74-26 in favor of Aster. But you gents, what do you think, Carl?
The Timber's got to go off. And to Pi's point, it is a rough game. They need to win the lanes, but I'm just afraid. I've seen Shaker do so much work in these games, and he's up against a PL. Aster's the better team. A Mirana mid. I got to favor Aster here.
Okay. Pile die.
I feel the same way. I mean, it's 1 second. Like the Timbers all goes to Spectre lane. There's an Undying there.
Yeah.
He goes to the other lane. There's a Necro. No, I think Aster. I think Aster should be looking pretty good.
All right. BSJ?
Kyle and Aster. I'm going J.Storm. Let's go. Easy prediction.
There's a bit of NA rivalry.
It's a great formula. It's
I mean, at this point.
Sorry, I misread. I thought you were just going to be contrary, but actually because he sucks at predictions. I've got it now. Yeah, that's what it was. Right, let's head over to our commentary team for the one and only game to find out who survives at the Kuala Lumpur Major.
Welcome, folks, to the first elimination game of the day. It is North America versus China Grant, J.Storm versus Team Aster. Most of the panel thinking it's going to be Aster on this one. Twitter thinks it's going to be Aster on this one, but that's because America's asleep, right?
It has to be, right? I mean, it's also the fact that Timbersaw is kind of a bad hero, and we got to watch a lot of NA Dota, and actually a lot of Timbersaw. We did King's Cup, and I believe Mu had the only winning record on it, though, and he's on that hero, so
we saw a lot of Timbersaw during that King's Cup. There was the surfacing of the big bruising support duos. You know, we saw a lot of the Axe and Centaur and all these fatties picked up during King's Cup time. That Timbersaw did get to see a lot of play, and I was surprised to not see it up until this point now for this event. But now Moose says, why not now?
Yeah, and I think the panel kind of touched on it. It's a best of one. Just don't worry about, well, you kind of have to worry about the other team's draft, but just focus on yourself. You get Forev, this Mirana, who went just beyond godlike in almost every single game he played on Wind and Rain in those the EU TI qualifiers. Like, he's a monster. And then you get Mu on this, and you get Brawl on a hard carry, right? When he played that TB, they won the game. Like, just put Brawl on a hard carry from the middle lane. He seems to do good. It could do it, but then on the other side, you got this middle Tiny, and middle Tiny doesn't really lose the lane, and we have just seen him straight up take over games.
Aster have put together quite a strong draft here. Sylar and Spectre, I mean, that is a match made in heaven himself, a man with wealth of experience in carrying out games. Probably feels better now, right? I know he's a little under the weather.
Yeah, exactly. That's like you said, right? So, yeah, he was under the weather now. He's like, it's time to go. Even though it's raining outside, he's good, and that's what matters. But, yeah, putting Sylar on a super hard carrying a best of one, I mean, I don't see a much better idea. That's a genius idea. Damn, he's getting work.
Pretty frisky on Fenrir right here. They're trying to zone this Undying all the way back. They went full aggro with this setup. At least for now, it looks like March is going to go ahead and take his lead, head right to that bottom lane, and we're back to a classic 2-1-2 here.
Yep. And guess what's bottom? That's going to be, you talk about classic, it's going to be the Bane Mirana combo, which, I mean, that's been going around since about 2008 now.
That is a Mirana mount and a half right there. I see a different mount every game, and that's some sort of Galaxy Dragon. All right.
Yeah. Not as good as the Bunny, but it's still a pretty cool mount. The thing, the guy I'm looking out for, though, is Bo, because this guy, when they win games, he rotates, he does everything. He secures the first lane, goes middle, secures that lane. I mean, I kind of miss his 4 Monkey King, but his Earthshaker is a beast.
Just going to say the same thing. This guy's a trendsetter in his own right, and one of the better 4 players in the game.
Yep.
Probably one of the best 4 players to come out of China, too.
Yeah, I think so. I remember during that Monkey King era, it was literally him and IG Vitality dogfights. Like, those two guys were just like, what are these guys playing, and how are they winning with it? But they worked out for him.
We'll see how J.Storm are going to be able to manage to get that potential support rotation as we see fisticuffs here, early swing in action. Moo taking it to him, 7-1 CS early on. No one really kind of escaping from the pack, but Aster are getting just the slightest CS advantage in each lane.
Yep, the only real big one is middle right now. It is 9-7. 7 denies already. That means he's only missed 3 denies. That is, I mean, that's tiny. That's why, like, I like him middle. He wins the first 4 waves, like, guaranteed.
Look at those level differences already just based on those denies. You don't think they have a big impact? You don't think this is part of the reason why players are calling out that denies mean a little too much?
Yep.
7.2?
Just a full level above it, 3 waves in. Yeah, not too bad.
Their adjustments may have to be made. We'll have to see. But it just goes to show how frugal things could be just in that CS phase.
Oh, and Milan bullies out Fenrir from the top lane on Undying. That's going to be the wait. Why does Undying have a Wraith band? All right. Well, it's news to me, but it's whatever.
You know, it got that Aquila coming, Grant.
I guess
Undying Aquila.
Oh, it's Spectres. My bad. Yep, it is Spectres.
Oh,
just picking it up for him. That's so weird, though. He has to run all the way back. With his health potion, he's bringing all the regen and his Wraith band. That works out. I guess that's why it's okay to TP instead of just suicide. You know, you're helping your Spectre.
Long walk back, though, and Sylar's just going to have to be a little cautious. Doesn't seem like Milan's really taking too much advantage early on at the time being here. And the pull from the bottom lane here. Successful for March. Obviously going to get his own approach here from Baboka. Blocks it out with the Fissure, and he's going to be happy to kind of try to pull the aggro his way, but good move from March there with the sleep into the arrow. Some heavy harassment here. I don't think they have enough firepower to go for any sort of finish, though. There's a finish, though. It is top lane, where we're going to be seeing Moo pick up that first blood. Milan is still in a bit of trouble here, and they get it done. It's Fenrir sapping it down with the decay.
Yep, and that's Sylar just waited like 3 more seconds. The Wraith band was here, the healing stuff was there, but he couldn't hand it off until right when he got here. But hey, Moo gets the first blood, and they needed that, because bottom lane right now, Necro's dominating the Mirana, middle lane, Tiny's dominating the PL. Top lane's pretty much the only lane they're doing well in, so they need to do very well in this lane.
Yeah. I mean, that's not the end of the world. Do you think it's not the end of the world for the Spectre at the moment?
No,
but
it's
definitely got to hurt just a little bit here.
I mean, if you get off to a good start of Spectre, you can run over a game. Now it's going to have to be back to the standard game. Oh, we'll sit here for 10 minutes as I get beaten lane, and then I'll TP bottom, and then I'll start farming finally.
Yeah. Pretty
systematic.
Tended pulls here happening from each side. And they continue to harass and do some work under the tower, not making anything easy for Sylar while possible.
Here's one thing, if you're a pub player at home, if you're having a tough time middle, Bryle actually buys his own ward right there, flies it middle and plays it down. Yeah. He just wants to make it better for himself, sometimes you just got to do that, you know? Leave your support some gold.
See Tiny tossing, creeps on forward, even gives him a nice little range creep for him to easily last it down, but still 27 now, 27-16. 19-3. That is, you know, Dendy TA numbers of the past, I guess. He used to be just a deny monster.
That's why it's weird. I know on earlier panels they're talking about how they didn't really want to see EG run that tiny middle, but he just dominates pretty much every hero just because tree grab's so good. Just you get every range creep deny, almost guaranteed.
Yep. Well, he'll get to go back to the shrine and heal on up. A little bit of breathing room for Bryle to kind of work in that mid lane for now. No heavy frisky movement for the time being here. No heavy rotations. Just some casual trades back and forth between these laning supports.
And I mean, honestly, J.Storm might be happy with that because they do have 2 supports. Like, Bane's okay in lane, but you want to get that 6, you actually have rotation. But getting a Phoenix early level 6 without having to move or be pressured is pretty damn good because Phoenix is not a good laner.
No, not at all. He's getting some good levels early on. So it's going to be nice. And what do you think for Mu this game? Typically, you could be stuck in a situation where you have to go against a lot of silences and you have to favor utility, Lotuses and Yules and such. Do you still consider that, you think, in this game on the Timber Saw? Or can he go just... He's got queued up a Bloodstone, so is he going to go straight snowball-y?
You got to go for a hood, especially against a Tiny. Like, he has the Bloodstone queued up, but if he goes his item, I guarantee it's going to be rough. We saw this a lot, too, during King's Cup, where you get Bloodstone and then you die once, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, if I had a hood, I wouldn't have died. Now I have a 5-charge Bloodstone. It feels very, very greedy.
Yeah.
But Necro bottom's going to have treads. Necro's getting a ton of fire. It's going to be Necro and Tiny are just absolutely having a field day right now.
Yep, obviously, 2 of those 3 lane advantages going the way of Aster right now. But I imagine J.Storm can't just let the game continue to unfold this way. What is their opportunity to kind of like make action happen? Or is there an opportunity for someone to rotate, somebody able to make something happen? Is it like Forev, for example, on the Mirana?
I think they're just going to be fine farming. Maybe they want... I think maybe they should rotate the Mirana top. They are going to try to go on this Spectre, but we'll run away. Moo with that sad little Timber chain.
Got the shock from though.
It's
does manage to connect. It slows him down. He needs a little bit more. There's the Timber chain. Not able to get close enough for a good whirling death, though.
Tiny's here.
And,
a big boy.
Milan's done for sure. Tiny's coming for that chicken, and he gets it.
And that's a little bit of an overextension. Oh, no, now Moo, please. This Tombstone will get it. Oh, he got denied. Wow. So he doesn't even get the gold from it. Nice job by Fenrir.
They're kind of walking him back a bit, but he's still pretty tanky. A little too hard to be able to take down. So.
Moo may never die, but I'm not sure how much he's actually going to be able to do. Like, we just saw it there, right? The level 1 Timber Chain's like, I'm going to get you. Ugh. Well, and he can't reach
maybe
him.
Someday later.
Yeah, maybe when I'm level 15 and have all my skills maxed out.
If we haven't lost, I'll get you.
No, I'll try. And now, PL's doing decent. As you saw, PL got a little bit of free farm there and also just goes to the jungle like he's doing right now. And that's what you have to do. You just have to maximize the map.
Yeah, it's a slow farm for now. He just has to hope he can build up a good amount of farm and then make it out of that mid game really well. Top, we're seeing a bit of a dive. Good commitment from Mu to look to go for Fenrir. Looks like he should be able to get it done, and he does. Easy chop down right there, and the undead one goes back into the grave yet again.
Yep.
2-2.
Oh, they're actually looking. He does have 9 stick charges.
March is here. The 3 of them looking to swarm on in. Can they get this value grab on the Sylar now? Yeah, you're right. With the Haunt, it's going to be a little too hard. Set up to sleep, though. The return to Fenrir. And, you know, they're just Pap to posture up. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're also diving behind the tower here casually.
Yep, I like this because they know they can do that. They're like, wait, we have a Spectre who can just make it a 3-on-1 bottom. Unfortunately, no detection because, well, Miranas usually don't get their ult at level 6, and forcing her to pretty good. So both safe lanes just feel like, no, they don't want to go there anymore.
Yep. Well, now they're going to take the action here at the top lane. Swinging it back and around with the Icarus dive. Who gets the punch on in, and then they have to pull off. Lots of footsie action here. Lots of flirting from J.Storm, but unfortunately they're not getting the second base, Grant.
Yep, they're not. Well, Tombstone's going to go down. They were so scared that they probably could have kept diving, but once you see if Tiny, Tiny can TP, there's no way you want to do that. He will just clean up your entire team.
Yeah, he's holding that TP for now, but
he's ready.
He's going to farm up the mid lane whilst he can to build up closer towards that Blink Dagger. But we could see, action kick off in just a hot second between the Haunt and some TPs out from that Tiny.
This is normal best of 1 stuff. Like, you don't just want to do these crazy aggressive dives. You will play safe. I mean, it takes one mistake and you could just lose the game.
For sure. And Milan, unfortunately, might have mistakenly overstepped himself. Long Icarus dive back and around. They look to go for the Spectre here. Goes for the Haunt jump and is able to create a bit of distance to be able to make it away. But Fenrir does get caught in arms here a bit between Mu and March. There's the sleep setup. There's the chop. Mu claims another life.
Simple as that. The only problem with that is because you rotate March top, now you have this XXS just farming bottom. He's actually going to take the first tower of the game, it looks like bottom. And this Necro is the top CS on their team, almost top CS in the game, and a very farm Necro can be extremely hard to kill.
Got the Veil on Q, already has the recipe, obviously, with just the Helm of the Iron Will, just 100 gold away before it is fully incomplete. And I noticed before Mu, who's finishing off that top tier 1, has that Lotus Orb now in Q.
Oh. surprisingly, Radiant gets the first tower, and ooh. I like how XSS is playing, but Forev does a good job. He arrows the siege unit. You have to do that in these pushes, and that pretty much saves the tower right now because of it.
Yep. It's pretty close to deny range here.
Oh, man.
But
I would be surprised if Radiant rotated down here. I mean, they have March going down, but he's only level 5. I think you just give this tower up.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though.
I will hold it for as long as I can. But yeah, March actually wants to come in. The arrow's not quite there. The sleep comes after. Now Bryle's showing up. Moonlight Shadow to help mix things up. And with Moo coming into action, full reinforcements here for J.Storm, but a quick and hasty escape. And Necro is gone. He would have been the real big juicy target to take down, but they'll have to settle for Baboka instead. I guess in the meantime, they can segue this into a tier 1 push attempt. But that is a lot of resources committed.
It is. If they get that tower, it's worth it, but I don't think they can push it. So they're just going to farm the jungle, farm bottom, and meanwhile, no one's really middle. Just Fenrir sitting as an Undying. Just chilling like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll try to get a level 5, 6, whatever.
Free. Sure.
Experience
Why not?
is good. As a support, when you see an empty lane, you're like, team's not complaining about something, you just slowly sneak in there and you steal the experience. They're like, wait, why are you middle? Oh, I'm coming top.
So nobody was here. I'm just keeping it warm for you.
You're good, you're good. I won't steal anymore. I think that it could be Milan getting his 6 and Undying just getting that max level tombstone. I think that's when the fights are really going to start popping off.
For sure. Milan's in trouble though. Top lane, daggers out. The Icarus dives.
Back.
Comes right back. All right.
He's not scared. He knows he won't get hit. Like,
maybe
he can literally outrange it.
Well, if he baited him into a right-click fight, I guess they were hoping for Arrow to come in. But meanwhile, on the southern front, Moo getting hit hard, and there comes the Grim Reaper. Slices down and takes out the Timbersaw.
Something just like that. Even a Hood wouldn't have saved him there, so that's fine. But a little out of position. I mean, you know you're a tanky boy. He actually is extremely tanky already, but as we've seen, pretty much all the kills have been 4 hero commitments to a lane. Yep. It's 4-3 at 13 minutes. And it's just been huge commitments to get these kills. The teams are playing very nervous, and I mean, rightfully so. You're in the major and
tournament
one loss.
Life.
Yeah.
One more win gets you that much more money, that many more points.
Yep. Oh, and Fenrir gets the good counter ward there, securing his jungle.
Yep. Slow creep approach. We see tower officially finish off finally there in that bottom lane. XXS is going to be able to pick it up. Rev showing himself in the lane. He has backup nearby, but there's no one really looking to make the call or make the jump. Everybody's kind of content on getting back to their grind of farm.
Yep, and surprisingly, the PL is actually the highest level in the game now. The Tiny's rotated once top and twice bottom, and the PL just farms the jungle, then creeps get pushed in the middle, and he just farms. And this is what I like from J.Storm. You know, they're not playing the spear breaker kind of game. They're actually playing a much more reserved game, and the one time they did it with this TB, it worked out. Uh-oh, looks like they want to go on top with this.
Yep, but Moonlight Shadow, Baboka just waiting on the side. I'm not sure if they saw him creeping in. They do have that ward, actually, so they see him.
Look at this. Looks like both. That's very rare. Both teams want to ward the same side of the map, but 2 Radiant wards top, 2 Dire wards top.
The tombstones dropped, and it's making J.Storm kind of second guess on their commitments. But meanwhile, mid lane, jump in. Veil set up with that. He tries to doppelganger out, does manage to make it up north. Mark looks to step in to help him out, but now with the Haunt coming in, it's just going to be way too much. A tree flies forward. They're going to get the finish there. Moo steps in to help things out. XXS is barely surviving. He gets hit with the Soul Rip, and he's going to be fine, but Moo will not let him escape. Finally able to bring him down. It's a 2-for-1 trade. Moo now has to walk out the other side, but meanwhile, Tiny continues to clean up.
You are now seeing the power of middle Tiny. When he has levels and has farm, he's doing 800 burst damage at 14 minutes in twice. Feels pretty good. Yeah, in the fight recap, as you see, the Tiny just 1,800 damage. What are you going to do?
Call Ghostbusters?
Yeah, you might have to. I do love what the Tiny and Spectre did. Spectre got hit by the Fire Spirit, but still just went and hit the egg. Level 1 egg is absolute garbage. Like, as long as there's 2, you could be 2 people both Fire Spirited, and you will kill it. That is how bad level 1 egg is.
It's one of those, like, Fabergé eggs or whatever that they fall off the table. They just obliterate into pieces.
Like, some rich person buys it for $65,000, but you just even look at it and it just shatters.
Damn, you must be ugly.
Yeah, love some Fabergé. That's a classy word there.
I hope I said that right.
I believe you did.
All right,
I thought you were thinking of paper mache eggs, but it works too.
5-6. Only Moo kind of really leading the pack for his own team. Obviously, Bryle's going to have to find some time to build up some nourishment for himself, but Aster are in action mode.
They are.
Without a doubt. And they're on the prowl already once again. While they have that Tiny with the Blink Dagger, there's really no reason why they can't continue to go to work here. So the three of them begin the rotation up towards the top.
That's so scary.
They see Forever late. They look to make the jump. Immediate dunk, immediate kill before Moo can even react. And as he tries to timber chain in, they stop him conveniently with the fissure. He's not going to be able to do anything about it. Just a great hit and run from the 3-stack there.
Up. And all the while, Sylar. It's pretty much been Milan versus Sylar for most of this game, and he's happy. And as you see, he's going the old school build. He is going for that first item Radiance against the PL, obviously. Yep. Insanely good.
Meanwhile, mid lane, chops onto Tiny, turns the corner, walks out and away, but Moo says, let's dance a bit.
Yep. They're not killing him, it doesn't feel like, unless you have the Reaper's Scythe, and once he gets that hood, it's getting even tougher. He is going for it after the Bloodstone.
Okay, yeah, I was super confused by the item progression, I guess, a bit there, but he does get that Bloodstone complete. Just got to be careful, though.
Yeah, I'm feeling rough about J.Storm right now, because this Spectre is pretty much farming. They were 1 to 2K up right now, and once that Radiance comes up, farms so much quicker, is much more impactful in fights, and then PL just becomes a lot worse because of it.
Yep. Well, they're trying to mend something out of it right now. They see Baboka pushing out that top lane, and they frantically head that direction to see if they can catch him. Goes to hide within the side shop.
You know, man, you see all that. We see Diffusal for PL, and then a Blink on Earthshaker, and I believe, was that a Blink on Necro as well? Yep, a Blink on Necro. So they have 3 Blinks on Aster. They actually just want to... And then you have Spectrals as well. That's like 4 Blinks. They actually can just get on you so damn quick.
Anyone. They can instant jump the PL on a fly. Jump, Veil, Toss combo coming out with everyone else's company here. And as they look to battle things out, it is going to be XXS claiming that Tier 1 tower. J.Storm thinking about chasing here a bit. Trying to go for the snappy finish on the Fenrir. They will be able to get it with the assistance coming in from Moo, but will they finish him off? 4-hit right now. Toss combo comes out. Reaper slams down Moo, and those are going to be charges down. Morale tries to slip on out. March going for the Valiant Grip is going to be able to help in assisting on that finish. But here comes Spectre. Sylar's happy to chop him on down.
Tiny.
Ooh, he does get burnt. Nice snipe right there from Milan. It may cost him his life, though. He gets body blocked from Baboka right now. Not letting him by at all.
Yep, and I think for Milan, it's kind of, well, it splits the gold, but you get that solo kill pretty much. Milan solo kills a Tiny and gets level 10 off of it, almost level 11. And it was a Spear Vessel, so worth it. I mean, J.Storm, I would say, won that fight, besides maybe the Timber losing a ton of that. Yarrow.
Little Robin Hood over here.
But can't get him.
Yes. Doesn't quite have the firepower yet.
Yep. That's the thing, that's what...
Uh-oh. They blink in, there's the Veil.
Should be okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have that Reaper Scythe, obviously, and he's able to quickly TP the hell out of there.
And we saw the Necro, he's the big counter to the Timber. Like, guys, you don't have to kill him. Just get him below this threshold, and I will finish him the rest off, and it worked out.
PL is sporting some good farm suddenly. He just popped up on that net worth. He's got the Diffusal on hand. This might be a good power peak, if you will, for J.Storm. They can make something out of it.
I think you do, because he has a full hood coming out. Moo has a hood as well. Maybe you just group up as 4 or 5 and just push the towers, which it looks like they're kind of doing.
Try to go against the timing of the Spectre as much as possible here, or at least if you can get some of these very critical towers down, you can restrict a lot of the farm that's available to her.
Yeah, because she has the relic now, at least, or the gold for it. And that means in about 1 or 2 more minutes, you are going to have a full Radiance on this Spectre at about 20 minutes, and that is damn scary with the 3 other Blinks as well. Like, they have plenty of counter initiation, regular initiation, sustain with the Necro as well as the Undying. It's going to be so hard to kill him.
Yeah, March going to be wincing for sure once the Haunt comes out with that Radiance. Okay, jump committed to the bottom, immediate up and down, boom goes the birdie. Tiny picks that one up with ease. March looking to set up the Sleep Arrow, but it's not going to be there. Dunk between the two as Moo jumps into play. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Buyback comes up from Milan, says, I want to get my egg in this fight right now. Oh, Reaper Scythe comes out and is going to get the finish onto Forev. It's a 2-for-0 trade from Aster, but they're not done yet. Looking to dive in. Now with the egg, trying to finish him off. Moo looks to go for the finish of the Tombstone, and with the grip, they should be able to get the finish of the Necro. That's not too bad.
I'll take that.
Makes it a 2-for-2.
Yep. Not only that, you also get the, I mean, it is a pretty big deal. You get the 200 gold from Tombstone. That's like getting a kill.
Yep.
I mean, well, the gold-wise, you don't make them lose gold, but you gain a big chunk. And yeah, gold change, about 400, not too bad.
And that was without the PL. I mean, that was pretty much a 4-on-5.
Yep.
With the bird buyback, too. So
good thing about that is Phoenix still has Spirit Vessel. Not too, whatever. I bought back. I'm just a support. Came in there, got another kill. And it looks like that they're doing what we thought. They're just grouping up before the Spectre has Radiance, and that's what you have to do. You've got to get these towers down, as you said. Make sure the jungle is actually invadable.
Who's got his pipe totally complete? Wow.
Too bad. I'm really surprised J.Storm, they turned it around with this kind of run at you. They're still doing the kind of run at you attitude. It's just the Spectre's countering them a tad.
It's definitely mixing things up onto Aster a bit, or throwing them off their game of how, I don't want to say reckless, but how just abrasive J.Storm are in these fights.
Yeah, because this team is down. I mean, just like MVP, Phoenix back in the day, this team is one of a kind to play against. Even if you think, I mean, they're the third string NA team, right? I mean, they qualified third from this, but they just play with such a different style than any other team in this tournament. If you don't scrim them, even if you don't think they're the best players, like they just play such a weird style.
Scrappy.
Real gym rats in there, you know. They really get in there 6 a.m. They're ready to practice, and
you got your boxers, your Muay Thai fighters, and you got your drunken brawlers that you just don't want to be swinging at the local bar. You know,
when you see Mu on that Timber Saw, you know he's just flying in. You're like, what the hell? It's like 5-on-1. He's flying in at you.
What the hell? Did he just rip off his shirt? I think he did.
Oh God, get out of here!
Hard commitment here from Aster. A 4-man smoke. Look at these gangbusters just running down the mid lane. They're looking for trouble.
And look at that. They just got 3. I still can't believe they have 3 blinks. Tiny, ES, and Necro. Like, if they see someone, they're just all just going to go on top
Look
of
at
him.
this. The courier just barely navigates up and over. Like, anyone comes across, they're just in trouble.
Yep. Oh, I think they saw Brow, but do they have detection because it's Moonlight Shadow? They have 1 sentry down. Guess who's going to run into it? Might be Milan.
You know what? If you lose Milan for this full 4-man heavy rotation only, I think that's okay. Meanwhile, back and behind, a grip set up, and they might be able to snipe down the Necro. Good grab from behind, comes out from J.Storm. But now with the Haunt coming out, things get a bit frantic here, and they are going to be able to take out March. Dunk's there, only onto 1. Bryle's going to be able to doppelganger back to the high ground to make it away. They continue their chase. Moose slipping across to the other side, looking to catch Baboka, possibly from behind here, but Aster are out. Arrow's not going to find anyone. Baboka's going to be able to safely leave. And, you know, it's not as significant of a fight at the end of the day as you'd imagine for how hard of a commitment it was between both teams.
Yeah, it isn't. I'm looking at the net worth and I'm like, damn, Moo has so much farm, and so does PL. PL just bought a Reaver. PL just straight up bought a Reaver.
Where's all coming from? I think just all the movements we're seeing from Aster are just soaking away from a lot of the farm time. Here we see a replay of the action
nice
here.
Nice done by Baboka right there. Just making sure if Milan leaps away and gets the egg off, that fight goes god-awful for him. And then, look at the PL illusions. They just kill the Tombstone. That's what the panel is talking about. Like, if PL's in the pool and you have an Undying, no heroes were hitting it, just illusions. And it works out. And that grip, man. March is doing such a good job. Like, he's just in the river, too. Like, he's just straight up in their face gripping him, and he's doing a great job.
And they're all Aster. I mean, it's great that they all have these blink daggers, and they all start jumping ahead, but if one of them's not able to make the jump in time, we saw there the Necro getting caught from behind. You know, too far from the rest of his team suddenly.
And this is honestly a free Roche. I am very surprised Aster is letting him do this. I guess they're nervous because they don't have Tombstone and Phoenix. They know has egg.
It definitely feels like Aster are more affected by the best-of-1 situation at the moment than J.Storm are.
Yeah, it does. It feels like J.Storm, even though they drafted a tad differently than before, they're still playing the same game.
Yeah.
And Aster, they seem to be just... They're playing on a timer when I don't think they really need to be.
Pretty much since the laning phase. Laning phase, it was great for them.
Yeah.
But since then, it feels like things have been just kind of just a little awkward on how they want to kind of achieve their goals.
And we haven't seen much from this Necro, honestly. As you said, dominated the laning phase, and he's got picked off 3 times by Grip now, I believe. Like, March has done a good job being like, yo, Necro, we kill this guy? They don't really have the sustain anymore.
It's going for a Lotus, it looks like, next. I'm curious how many things that's actually going to be able to benefit from him. I know it's going to, benefit on purging off a couple of things that could be a nuisance, like Diffusal, for example.
Fire Spirits,
Spirits,
and the Spirit Vessel. Spirit Vessel is always one of the biggest things, especially on a Necro, right? Because if you Ghost Shroud with that still on you, you don't heal that much, but take it off and you're good.
But one of the things, the downsides to Lotus is it doesn't really add any stats. And,
no,
Necro's going to be much thicker, much tankier. And, we could see him get chopped up even easier from Mu in the next swing.
That's the one thing. Lotus, it always sounds like it's going to be good, and then you're like, oh, cool, I get 10 armor, 2 mana regen for 4,000 gold. Like, it just feels so awkward to build that item. Well, they finally have some damage on this Mirana, flying out the Maelstrom. We saw the Radiance last fight, has a Yasha. Both Spectre and PL are farming decently, but this PL has a full heart and 200 gold, and that is
every time we click on him, he's got some new level up. He's Bryle.
I talked to him yesterday. I'm like, he's like, what should I pick? He's like, do you want to see my quab? I'm like, if you ever say that again, I'm not talking to you. I'm like, just play carry, play your TV. And Aster actually first phase banned it, which was pretty surprising to me. It's one of the first phase TB bits. So I'm like alliterating, running over my own words here. They're just going to get a tier 2. Looks like both teams, possibly, they're very scared to go on this tower bottom. And they're just going to throw the tombstone like, nah, we're not letting you defend this tower.
Yeah, they'll get it down. Both teams will get their trade. Are they going to race for it here?
Dude, there's an age. You
Bryle's
cannot race this. Yeah, you cannot race this if you're Aster. You got to get back.
And before they can even get back as 5, they're thinking about making a mild move here, possibly for XXS. Good Fissure blocks him in, but Bryle's not too worried just yet, obviously. Still holds the Aegis, can doppelganger out. Does so there. Now jumping in from Moo. Looking to take it right to the Necro here. Is going to be forced to. Dished out the Ghost Shard and is totally on defensive mode. Jumping forward, though, with the dunk. But it is just not good enough, and now it's going to be a grip on the Tiny, which does get, obviously, quickly canceled out. The Egg's going to be there to try to make it past from it, but they can't stop it at all. And here comes Bryle and company. J.Storm suddenly moving in and going for the base.
Bryle is just playing out of his mind. Now they're going to kill Fender. They might kill the Boca. Get on the back. They get the Reapers on prep. That was like almost the end. They get it.
More mana to work with, though. And here comes XXS. He's looking to go for some revenge here. Real nice turnaround coming out from Aster, bullying back J.Storm and keeping him outside the base, and they will be able to clean house here.
Full HP. This is going to be a tough kill. Do you even go for it?
I
don't think you do. I think you just let Bryle leave. But we'll see.
Says, come to me. I'll stun you down in his spot. Bryle thinks about possibly considering a chase onto him. Hits him with the side diffusal, but he's got to worry about the Necro and the Spectre here. Oh, no funny juke plays. Was not able to make it up with the Doppelganger, unfortunately. And that's technically a 6-man wipe.
Yeah, it sure is. And wow, not only that, you lose the Bloodstone charges on Timber. So you do lose your tier 3. And was it just, it looks like, buyback only from the Earthshaker there. So honestly, a pretty good fight for Aster, even though they lose tier 3. And you see the replay right here. The dunk, it barely hit the Mirana. Only the damage did. Like, if Baboka got even a 2-man dunk, would have been a lot better for the team.
This fight got really split up. We saw a hard commitment from Moo here in just a second as he tried to dive in and go for the finish on XXS, which he was pretty close to. But we saw the chakram totally off its mark there. Unfortunately, may have been a little bit of the difference. And at that moment is when we did see Aster make that jump for the back line. Wasn't the biggest connection with the dunk like you were talking about. Tiny even caught off his positioning a bit. But even with all that, Aster's still able to hold really nicely here. Even the A able to get off.
And that's why it actually is. This Spirit Vessel is the only thing that's like get to destroy Necro, because we saw when he pops that Ghost Shard, he got soul ripped from 25% to 100% just to soul rip healing him.
Jump in combo, easy pick onto Forev here in the top lane.
And now you kind of feel the scales here. They get a tier 3, and all of a sudden these pickoffs are coming.
Yeah, this game's feeling close now. Much, much closer.
They're all rotating up top, though, on J.Storm. Will they find anyone? Doesn't look like it.
Bryle's here in lane. Fenrir is watching from the outside. But we do have J.Storm here as well. They could think that they're good to make a jump on the Bryle and then quickly get caught out, but J.Storm do show themselves. Evoca from behind, looking to sweep in. It's the duck, it's the kill. Milan, gone. Same goes for March. And Aster are back. And they're going to take Bryle too.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
Aster are here, and they're good. Okay.
Yep. Well, scales have officially shifted. They might have overcommitted middle, and it has hurt them bad. And Baboka makes up for the little bit of a missed ulti there. And, well, mid lane and that top one, he hits the Phoenix. This Phoenix is like really all the team fight J.Storm has. And if you pick him off before he gets Fire Spirits in his ulti, you're in a good spot. And they've done it multiple times now.
Aster just went from taking 2 straight team fights, now they're going to take 2 straight towers. The net worth just totally transcended over to their side. 4K and rising fast.
Man, what a crazy game. That's the problem with J.Storm. I mean, their foot's always on the gas, and maybe that fight wasn't the best to take after you lose Forev. Yeah. Like, they took that fight with the Mirana just dead.
And we'll have to see if J.Storm can kind of shake that one off a bit.
It's tough, especially when you know you just lost 4 bounty. It's like, it just doesn't feel good when you're like, well, we're not getting any of these.
Dagon buildup coming the way of the Necro, I see. He's looking to go for the quick insta-burst, insta-finish.
And already he has it in stash, all right. And has another 1.2. They just got so much team gold from that fight, like everyone on the team.
Yeah, the supports as well are getting pretty huge.
This is a Crystallis now. Oh my goodness. This Tiny is jacked.
Yep. They're already completing that Shadow Blade too, so he's got huge bursting potential right now. And well, I was curious, do you think a Silver Edge even necessary to build into this game at some point?
I think you.
Tiny?
For the Tiny, maybe. Against the Timbersaw, it might just be like a 5th or 6th item where it could work out. For the PL, definitely. The PL can actually beat Spectre pretty decently late game with like a Nullifier as well as a Silver Edge. And we'll see if that's what he goes for. The biggest thing for me is, so far this tournament, Miranas just feel underwhelming, except for like Ramses. Ramses like been the only real, and that one Yawar game, he had a really good one, but like Forev, he was kind of their one position this game, and he's level 15 with really no items at all. Like, he does nothing in team fights. And that's a big difference from his Mirana in the TI Open qualifiers.
Comes J.Storm, looking to possibly reclaim their turf.
Oh, they're
Look at the positioning of Aster, though. They might manage to swing it from behind onto Aster. Can they get the jump? This is their best chance to try to pull this game back if possible. The egg is there, but they're just going to run right out from it. Here comes the Haunt. Like a defensive dunk, but boom! Instant burst, though, comes out from Moo. This might be it for J.Storm now. Heavy Sunray burst, but Sylar is able to turn and look to go for the finish onto March XXS. Swift mega kill as he gets that takedown up for Rev. Moo, though, looking to sweep in and try to tilt the favor back their way in this fight. He's got to get the finish onto XXX. Can he get it done? Yes, he can. All right, something favorable beginning to go back the way of J.Storm here.
This is just a different game than we've been watching, right? We've been seeing like kind of these one-sided games and weird ones. This game is just fight after fight, like actual 5-on-5 fighting almost every other minute. It's been going in favor of different teams, right? We just saw Aster take 2, and then all of a sudden, hey, Milan gets a good egg off, and they just win.
That was such a nice convenience of timing as we see Moo get a swift snipe on the Tiny right there. Just, all right, I'll take that freebie.
Yeah.
But the timing on that one, the way they were, and we'll see here, they managed to go up that hill and all the way around before Aster was positioned to see from the high ground. So just all too convenient for Storm to be able to find a great approach into this fight.
Looking at a Tombstone, is it really even doing anything? It's sitting up on the hill, no one's hitting it, but it doesn't seem like Radiant really cared about it that whole time. And was another man. Forev's just not going to have a game, I don't think. I think Forev's already get a BKB, and that's about the best you're going to do, because he just got chased down by the Necro, and he's been Necro-ulted twice in a row now. He's still dead for 15 seconds, by the way. Like, it's not a fun game for him.
Go to the bathroom, I guess, if he needed to, but we have both PL and Moo to kind of pick up the deeps, I guess, in the meantime.
Are you a guy in pubs who pauses the game to go to the bathroom, or you just go? You just go?
If I don't know, I'm responsible enough to go before the game.
Okay, not hold it. What about a bottle?
No, never.
Okay, no. Me, I just don't. I just click a lane and then go to the bathroom and hope it's, you know, a quick one.
It could work if you're an ogre or spirit breaker like you like, I guess. So sure enough.
And I'm looking. Sylar actually has a butterfly and pretty much one more Nutrigram. But Radiant's Manta Butterfly. He's not the most survivability here, but I guess you have the Necro as well as the Undying, and they haven't really been aiming right. Spectre always goes in last. Like, hey, you guys start the fight, wait 5 seconds, and I promise I'll be there. Like, he never wants the attention to be on him. And this Roche this is going to be a big fight. There's no way
J.Storm tried to scan, but they were not approaching from that side. They're coming down and through the river. I don't know if J.Storm are going to see it there. The Moonlight Shadow comes out. They try to pop the dust from out there, but it's not quite close enough. Moose sees him coming, tries to stalk and move. Bryle wants to move in, and that's where we see Aster pull back. Aster do not want to get caught outside of each other, and they're already going to be losing Fenrir.
Yep.
And now they go back to the road.
Yep, they're super scared because they pop the Spirit Vessel on Tiny, which means the Necro had to use Lotus Orb on him, and this Necro doesn't want to fight if he can't use Lotus Orb on himself, because he will actually be useless. So they have to be careful with these cooldowns. And look at this.
As he tried to Timber Chain, nice move. Toss combo. Reaper Scythe comes out, but it's not going to be nearly good enough. The follow-up dunk will be good enough, and Moo's going to be going down. Bryle very low. Barely able to make it back and away with the egg there to help out. He's going to make a safe escape. They try to chase him, but he's out the other side. Meanwhile, March, nice grip from the high ground, locking the Earthshaker in his place. Milan trying to make it back and away, but can't. Meanwhile, inside the pit, it's Forev being taken down as Aster take control back, but buybacks are going to be coming out from J.Storm. They cannot let this one slip away. And now a buyback from the other side. Very valuable moment for both teams here as they just dump the money.
This is just, I mean, it's only 21-28, but these fights are just, they're intense. It's just straight up 5-on-5. No one's farming, no one's split pushing. They all want to be there every time.
Tournament life.
Oh, what is that?
on this right now.
Is he crazy?
They're real frisky with this one. Out of position, XXS tries to head up north to be able to make it away. The chase is there for Moo. Meanwhile, Bryle says, I'll just take the Roche. Gladly picks up the Aegis. The cheese is still there. They managed to frantically be able to pick it up, but they lost Moo. And like you said, he has no buyback if they wanted to get back into the swing of action here. Meanwhile, though, Bryle does manage to clean up little Fenrir on the way out, and he'll even grab the tombstone, too.
What an odd fight. It looks like J.Storm actually lost 2,000 gold and all that. I mean, the buyback, but they get the Roche on Bryle, or the Aegis on Brown. I think they're okay with that. They lost the buyback, but at least you get PL, the Aegis, and you steal it from Spectre or Necro.
Pause. Everyone just take a moment to breathe here. It's a hell of an intense game right here, and we'll get a replay on that. I'm curious about that.
Another great egg. Like, Milan, he is their team fight, and he is making sure his egg doesn't die now.
Now, they made the jump for Moo right here.
Ulti didn't kill him, which was big.
Yep.
He did end up dying to this bunk. Like, Baboka and Milan are both playing very well for the 4 position. They're doing exactly what they have to now.
But because of that egg, Bryle heads out the other direction.
And gets his heart regen.
I know. If he happened to move up towards the ancient camp, he would have been caught up by the Earthshaker and dead. But good positioning by them. They step out to the other side. Forever, unfortunately, he still feels like he's not able to contribute a whole lot in these fights. But he tries.
Like, look at his item. Isn't this where I'm looking in this Forever? He has this exact same items and the exact same gold as last time we saw him. He did have to buy back it, which is one of the big reasons. But man, it is not feeling very good.
Otherwise, you're a Moonlight Shadow and maybe an arrow if you can catch it. You know.
Yep. But you do see at the end of that, they get the Roche, and with Moo coming back, he tanks for him. I guess he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna die again. I die back. Bryle, please get the Roche." And he does, and Sylar's doing a lot of damage because he went that butterfly build. Like, if they don't aim him as they haven't been, they're just gonna run roughshod on you.
Still got what feels like almost a minute before Moo's gonna be back up and into action right here. This is an opportunity for both teams to spread, maybe get some vision down. Certainly Aster are doing so.
Okay, Silver Edge is complete on PL. The question is, will he ever? I mean, the thing is, all you have to do is Silver Edge and hit the Spectre. The Spectre's not dumb. The Spectre's not just going to be at the front lines like, yo, hey, what's up, everyone? Oh, I just got Silver Edge. Like, it's nearly impossible for this PL to get on top of the Spectre.
March.
Quick
easy
one.
Grab.
Real easy.
Easy grab. Easy scout right there. And Aster will try to segue this into a tier 2 push. But Moonlight Shadow from the J.Storm squad, who's about to be back up. Will they look to take a fight the second he returns? He's TPing towards the front line.
Looked like J.Storm wanted to, but obviously Aster knew that. They know they're like, well, it's 4v5. They're like, wait, Bane doesn't really do anything. We got to be careful of Bryle, the Egg, and Moo.
Yeah, for sure.
And that was, yeah. I mean, it's just like his Mirana. I praised it as one of the best Miranas during the TI qualifiers, and it's still very good. But he's had a completely rough game.
Fenrir. It's an arrow. I may have overhyped it a bit, but they are going to think about chasing him and see
if he
can finish. No, they got him.
Tombstone goes down.
Snoozing at the wheel a bit, but it looks like he might have been saved. Good little Fisher drops the Tombstone, has to hand over the gold, but whew, that was scary for a little support.
I like how I'm just looking at a PL's quick buy. He has the tome. He's like, please let me get the doppelganger cooldown. I need it. You don't need it, March, even though you're level 4 or something. I don't know.
March is like, I guess.
Please. And Timber Chain on level 25 Timber Saw. That's going to be nice. But it just feels like this Spectre has played so... I mean, it's Sylar, right? Like, obviously, maybe the most legendary, especially in this game, and has just played perfectly, has never been caught out of position, always ults after someone else goes in.
Popular for 2 big things. Huge core play and falling to Liquid.
Yep, that's what it is. And the core play right now is the big one. You don't want to be the one who falls to Liquid and then J.Storm as well.
Yeah,
and Sylar knows that.
All right, Aster back on the move forward here. We have an Aegis that should be limited on time. J.Storm might know that too.
It's about 2.5 minutes here.
Oh, a jump here. They have so many sentries down. May have gotten a glimpse there of the tiny. Bryle tries to make a move forward. Tombstone's committed.
Poor Tombstone.
And it gets quickly taken out. Not even a Soul Rip's going to be able to save it there. Paramedic Milan hitting with the Sunray from behind, but J.Storm are starting to strut their stuff down the mid lane. Aster need to back off and reposition a bit.
That's crazy. you don't see an aggressive PL like this that often. He's like, yo, let's go, go, go. Like, it's usually, I want to go farm. Yeah,
ready,
whoa,
bro.
Chill, yeah. You have an Aegis, a heart, and a hood. We don't.
It's a crazy man swinging a bat around. You don't like that.
Oh, they're going to get this. I mean, the Shrine's not the biggest deal. Obviously, it makes it a lot easier. You can get some wards, counter wards down easier. They can't rotate to these fights. And now you kill both Shrines. It means Roche is just way easier to take for the third one when it comes up.
Yep. Lots of money in the pocket, though, for Sylar. He hasn't queued up yet what he wants to go for. No, just, you know, no Heart.
I think Heart's pretty good here. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, Scotty wouldn't be bad. I mean, just a little bit. Survival is going to be decent. Could as well be an Abyssal Blade if they want to go for some lockdown, but I'm curious. I mean, I would not expect the third item Butterfly in a game like this, but he's pulled it off, so I don't want to question what he's going.
We have 4 bounties. 40-minute mark going the way of J.Storm this time.
Well, not yet. They're still 2 top. They're just chilling.
Oh, what did I see 4 of? Oh, those were the other runes. My bad.
Oh yeah, and some bottles. No, you're good. It looks like they are going to get all 4 since I don't think Aster had. They can't really get to that top lane. They're like, all right, we'll TP to our shrine we don't have, and we're going to look for it.
They can't even really get out of the base right now. They just have Necro dancing out front.
Isn't it crazy too? Because it's been a 2 to 4K lead for Aster, and usually when you're in the lead, you're not hiding in the base.
They're playing super cautious. Feels like at least Aster have been definitely. A
little bit more passive for sure.
More passive, yeah.
Peel now just queues up the Manta to his Spectre. Still doesn't want to show us what's up. I think maybe going to the secret shop will. There it is, the cell. Yep, full heart. So it will be.
Nice
now,
and tonke.
Yeah, this is going to be a. And Lesbral does get a Silver hit on the Spectre. It's going to be tough, and I don't see the Silver Edge hit coming. Like, Sylar's positioning has been far too good for that.
Moo does finish that BKB. He's got 10 seconds of BKB to work with in the next fight as well.
6 Bloodstone charges. Feels pretty bad about that. But at least you have the Shivas already, so you have a little bit more mana. Oh, middle.
Ooh, they do get the Fissure. Arrow doesn't find its target. They're trying to follow up and go for the complete finish, but now he decides to pop the BKB, looks to turn around, instant burst fire, is going to get the finish on Fenrir. Drop the tomb, they clean it up.
Double.
A going to be committed. Dunk catch there from the side.
Stun for Rev.
Rev is going to be able to Moonlight Shadow and walk out the other direction. Aster fire off a couple of cylinders and don't get any kills, and now kind of question what their commitments are going to be. And
they got to get out.
Frantically make their escape. That's confidence now for J.Storm. They just weathered that storm, and now they're going to take the fight on forward. Hard dive from Moo. They're looking to punch the Necro, not going to look to make him back. Nice force save from Baboka, but is it going to be good enough? They're not going to let him get back. They're going to chase them both down and try to finish him off. Necro desperate to make it inside, but can't. 90 seconds, no buyback.
Oh, man. I pray they get another in Baboka.
No buyback on Tiny either.
This could very well be this could be game.
This could be game.
If they know, do they know this? If they've written down the time, they don't know Necro doesn't have buyback. He hasn't bought back. He just doesn't have the gold. We know he does, but they don't know that. If they want, they could just end it. Yeah.
I think they got this racks for sure. Yeah.
I think they've got 1 or 2 racks, if not the game. They could definitely pressure the. I don't think they want to because they don't know Necro doesn't have buyback. So.
No dunk either. Okay, he got the money for the buyback. Tiny's back in. Thank goodness for them. That might be enough for J.Storm to back off. Yeah. Okay.
A little surprised they go all the way back, but they know. They just won that fight. They know there's no haunt up. They can go get all the runes again at the 45-minute mark, push all the lanes, and that's the biggest thing. Just keep the lanes pushing, keep them in their base. And Roche may respawn in 15. That's going to be the big one. If it's a quick one, J.Storm might end this game and just right after Roche.
I was incorrect on that. It wasn't the money, it was the timing, it looks like.
For that
money,
one.
Yeah, because
the money is an Echo, yeah.
He's got plenty of money in hand still.
Oh, there we go. Marana got the BKB, and I know we're kind of insulting a little. I mean, it is slow, but now that you have that BKB, you just leap in, you just go kill one of the supports. Like, Forev, you're on just killing Earthshaker duty or something, and you can because you have a 10-second BKB.
All right, here we go. Moonlight Shadow.
No march there.
They're going to see the crossing of Sylar, but they don't want to go.
Yep.
Too high a risk. Could have been a high reward, but if things were to go sour, then Aster pretty much are just right back square even in this game.
And once again, it feels like Bryle as well as Sylar are both playing so well. They're both positioning well. They're both going on the right targets. And Brow's probably so happy this game because he gets 400 gold every fight just from the tombstones because of the talent now, and he doesn't have to do anything. He just kills it with illusions and then chases on. He's gonna have a full Abyssal Blade. He didn't go for the Manta. PL is gonna be pretty jacked and has the Doppelganger cooldown. You can almost never catch this hero now. Meanwhile, Sylar has the Dispersion talent, so it's a tough kill for sure.
Yeah. But they're still tanked up. They're kind of baiting forward Sylar a bit. The rest of the team just totally congregated together here. The full buddy-buddy system, if you will.
Yeah, and look, you see this gold on the screen. It's crazy. Gold from kills are actually way in favor of Aster, but gold from creep kills way in favor of J.Storm. And hey, sometimes killing creeps is better than
that was an
killing heroes.
arrow hit. He tried to Manta out, but they actually got the right one. But obviously, too close to the team.
Yep, and this is best of one positioning right here. You're like,
yeah,
all five are right behind each other. Like, do we go on this guy? We got the arrow. No. Chill out. They have a Necro and a Tiny.
This is like even more tense than any other moment in the game. They're like one team fight. It's clearly base Roche objective time.
Yep, and okay, I am nerd. The Aghanim's is on Milan. I'm not even sure if he'll take anyone into the egg with him. It's more about the two, I believe it gives you 2 extra hits. And I know it's 4.2k gold, but 2 extra hits on an egg could very well decide a game.
Yeah.
Who would he take in? Are there any good skills to refresh? No, not really. It's not like they have like another extra tombstone. They just have, I think it's just for those 2 extra hits for Phoenix.
Unless he's...
Someone's like, really low and he just like, hey, get in here, bud.
I gotta save you.
Hop on in. We have seen multiple times though.
With the blink, that kind of makes it more of a case. It feels like he might blink egg as like a desperation attempt to save someone who's on the brink of death, anyways.
God, it's just so like that has to be so stressful for the Phoenix player. Like, what if he does get a core killed that he didn't mean to? It's like the game is on you at that point. Like, it's a lot of decision making. But Milan's a very smart guy, very smart.
Hopefully you don't eat those words in this game, Grant.
Oh, God. Spectre's going for a Mjolnir, obviously, versus his PL. And the thing is, a lot of people think, oh, Spectre is the late game hero. Spectre is not really comparable to TB and PL. Like, TB and PL are much better in the Omega late game, which I would say we're going to reach here in about 5 minutes.
What defines Omega late? 60 minutes? 50 minutes?
I would say just 6 slotted on 2 cores.
Okay.
Like once like say Spectre gets 6 slotted and PL gets 6 slotted, I'll say it's Mega Lake. And even if it's 30 minutes in, if 2 people are that farm, we're there.
All right, tension now around the Roche pit as Roche is back up. Aster was able to kind of creep themselves right inside the pit, and they planted a couple of sentries down now.
Yep. And the big thing about this is Tiny has no buyback. The only one with a timer on his buyback. Almost nobody has buyback right now except PL, Spectre, and Timber.
They read this. Aster did. They put a sentry on the high ground. They put a sentry on the high ground.
Bryle's
right there. Bryle's right there. They see him. They're thinking about moving in. Oh, he dumped right there onto himself. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get it. Now they're looking to fly on in. Moo goes right within the trees. Exika's forced out the other side. The Boca going to get cleaned up, it looks like, from Moo here. Everyone just frantically split up on this one.
Once again, the Earthshaker. Just another rough ulti right there. And even though they had such good positioning.
Gets Fenrir and gets the extra money.
Yep.
That's Roche for J.Storm if they want, or...
Look, probably Roche.
Yeah.
With how this game has been going, like playing a little bit more scared, you definitely just go for the Roche. And
yeah,
it does feel like Milan's actually pretty much carrying this game because when he eggs, he's not really stunning anyone, but everyone just has to leave. Like, you can't stand in that. It's doing a ton of damage, and you just got to leave. And it's splitting them all up right now. That is going to be Roche, and this is Refresher Shard. Not really... I mean, you're going to have double Phoenix Egg now, actually. That is big. He's definitely taking that.
Causing the chaos in the fights is just so good against the team fight lineup of Aster. I mean, look at the lineups of J.Storm where they have so much great chase. PL's going to hunt someone down. Moo's going to hunt someone down. I mean, even at this point, Forev's going to be able to move and chase someone down. So when they're all split up and chaos is caused, that is just something that J.Storm are happy to embrace.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think, how does Aster do this? And a lot of the times you talk about the supports, right? They had a Bane and Phoenix in the early game, not the best. Phoenix scales super well on the other side. It's an Earthshaker and an Undying. Undying is one of the least scaling cores in Dota. Support in Dota.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't do anything. He's level 16, 50 minutes in. He doesn't do anything. He actually just doesn't.
Like, you would need to have money and have an Ag.
Have a Glimmer, an Ag, like even just a Glimmer, but he doesn't have that. And as well, the Earthshaker, it just isn't that far into 4-step and a Bling, and that's where it feels. It feels like Milan is just the one support in this game who's changing it.
Yep. He'll be back in just a second. Well, the Earthshaker, but
XXS.
before that can even happen, XXS is going to go down. He should buy back, though, if he wants to keep his hopes alive in this tournament. They do have a dunk defense still available. No buyback coming out just yet.
He's thinking about it.
Thinking about going
not
for
anymore. Illusion's hitting him.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Fortification. That's just good sense on Ryle. He's just zoning him back, seeing who's coming in.
God, it's so scary because they know the Phoenix has another egg because of the refresher shard. Like, it's hard to go in. They're going to try.
Not there. Boo. Happy to be the gatekeeper and force it back.
The arrow actually hits Spectre.
She's stuck in her spot right now, just for a little bit. Grips the follow-up. It's really good, but the Scythe does come out. Looking to go for the victory with the egg. Grabs March inside as the Scythe tried to come out. Bails him into it. Necro now on the verge of going down as a dieback. 2 minutes out. Nice dunk, though, does catch him. Is there enough damage? Yeah, there is. With the Tiny coming in, he's just swinging it home right now.
Can this
Ryle, though,
do anything?
Yeah, it's just move.
Big question.
Ryle.
Baboka should go down here.
Fighting within it right now. Pushing on forward, is going to be able to get the swift takedown of Baboka. Now looking to go for the Tiny next. Baboka does buy back. Ryle says this might be enough for me. Doppelgangers to the low ground, looking to make his escape. Baboka is on the chase. Not when Moose steps in, though.
Yep. And Brow's like, I'll go back in. My heart's here. Like, my heart just regen me to full HP in 5 seconds.
Yes, it did. Arrow. Not going to find anyone. Trying to go for their first Rax finish here. Aster just everything they can to try to stay alive.
Yep. They are going. Siler has to just stand there with the Radiance. Obviously slows all this damage down on the buildings even.
Daggers down the illusions and tries to burn them apart. And you got to give credit to Aster. They pull out everything they can to hold the line, and they do. They lose a tier 3, but very minimal damage done on the Rax.
Yep.
The line is held.
And that was a big hold because that was a double egg. Like, they won the fight. They had to use a couple buybacks, but they hold it. No Rax is lost, and a good job. Baboka, he had a pretty nice dunk. It seems like it feels like every game is won or lost by him, or every fight. I mean, like we saw the one by that middle Roche. It was kind of lost because he just whiffed it, and then this one top hits a giant one, gets a double kill, and it kind of sucks if you're him. You're like, oh god, the game's on me. Oh, heart's pumping. Knees spaghetti.
His knees. His best chances are obviously for these high ground defenses too. It seems like when he has to kind of set it up outside the base in these quick sporadic fights, that's where he really has a difficult time. But all right, back to the drawing board. It looks like here J.Storm are going to be sitting on a much more significant net worth lead, the biggest one they've had of the game so far at about 11K at this moment.
I'm looking, the one struggle still, Forev has the same items he's had. Like, this is actually, I hate to harp on it, but you're a Mirana. You gotta have items. This is the same items you've had since 37 minutes in, I believe.
Imagine if she did have another big damage item.
Just a Mjolnir or an MKB, like, all of a sudden the Spectre's not as scary either. Like, it's not just on Bryle.
They are making do with it, and, you know, credit to Forev, lots of setup potential with the Moonlight Shadow.
Oh, the Spectre is 6 slotted. If you get a 2 or 3 man dunk with Baboka, the ulti from Siler comes in, they are going to wipe up these fights so quick because this Mjolnir. And look at middle.
They're trying to go for a quick snipe on Moo with the creeper snipe, but the save of the egg! The save of the egg, but they are going to be able to crack it and bring it down, so both of them will get dropped, but Bryle trying to make the most of it. They simply can't. It's Aster's time now. They get a beautiful jump and a beautiful set, and Bryle's frantic to try to be able to make it away. Up to the high ground he goes, but the chase is on, and Aster get what they want.
Yep, and I mean, Moo was going to die anyway, so the egg didn't really get him killed, but the problem was he had to blink egg so quick he couldn't get the fire spirits off, which honestly might have been enough to save, because it's... how many hit counts is that on the egg? It is 13 hits. You get fire spirits on, like, the Spectre as well as the Necro, you might get it. Now Aster, they're looking for racks. There is buybacks on all the heroes. I don't think Moo wants to, but the other two probably will have to.
Yes, they will, but that's one without an egg, and no grip, and no Moonlight.
The dunk again, right? When Baboka hits a successful dunk, clears out the Timber Saw, it forces... I'm surprised they didn't just let Moo die. Honestly, like, he was already pretty much dead when Milan blinked in, and now they might lose a rack.
All right, well, one buyback, one tier 3, and already Aster are taking a step back to reposition. Tiny's incredibly low. They will be able to easily swarm onto him and finish him off. He's out for over 2 minutes.
Uh-oh.
The two of them, but, you know, no buyback for Earthshaker. Well, that was a swift end of a push right there.
Yeah, it was. And this one, you know, whoa, he's actually going to find Fenrir. Nice job by Moo.
Woo!
Can he get him, though?
I don't know.
The Tranquil Boots. He needs to right-click him once, please.
One more Timber Chain. Shivas. He doesn't even need a Shiva. Just chops him.
Yeah. Oh, 200 gold. If I have to. Brian will take it. And, well, that's a little bit on Aster. You got to know they have buybacks, right? You push into their base. They just buy back and jump on you instantly. You got to be a little bit more careful. But, I mean, we're 55 minutes into a best-of-1 elimination game. I think nerves are out the window. Everything's pretty much out the window. You're just playing Dota. I don't know. You're just playing Dota.
And J.Storm are playing inside the base. They get the first racks down.
Will they get another?
Shift up towards the top. There's no dunk defense for another minute.
Yep, they know his buyback's on cooldown as well. And oh, look at this. The Sunray damage on Sylar.
They got egg now too.
So much.
This looks like it could easily be 2 racks for J.Storm now.
Yep, and Milan.
I say that, but
Milan, I think honestly when Milan gets 25 and you get those 3 Supernova hit counts, it actually changes this game even more for them. And well, now we're seeing the promised Spectre. What does Spectre do? You have Treads. What else do you get? You get a Scotty instead of your Treads. Like, there's nowhere else for her to go, and that's the problem.
Oh, the arrow does catch her.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, Forev waited for his time, and the time is now. Gets the setup, brings her out. Does have a buyback, but that is quite unfortunate there.
There's the ulti. They just want to get out. J.Storm is running. They go on the
And
Phoenix.
can they return back? Oh, the slave right there. Bails him out. Nicely done. J.Storm taking it back to him. Moo eating a lot of damage, fighting on forward. Frantic for the stave, and they get her down and get it done. Both are going to be out without a buyback on this one, and J.Storm may have been able to do it. Can they clean out the rest?
Oh
Tiny staggering his way inside. He has nowhere to run and no more mana. Attempted fissure slide dunk does come out from Baboka, but it might be just too little too late for him. He'll get cleaned up potentially with the rest. Wow. And it looks like this one may belong to J.Storm after all.
March.
Holy moly.
March motherfucking Dota. Woo! How does he just get that? What a perfect. And this is what we talked about, the late game scaling cores. You don't think of Bane as one, but being able to, you know, just negate a Reaper Scythe that could just turn this whole game around. Guess what? March will do it, and they're looking to end the game. Not the best building hitters. Brow's like, must hit quicker, please.
Know,
win
right?
game. This game's stressful.
Aster, we got to send them home.
Yeah.
Aster, don't want to let it happen. They're going to just let the game go all the way.
You got to. They kill the Tombstone. Fenrir, I don't even think Brow wants to go. He's like, I don't want to kill another Tombstone. Just let him live. And they get the good game. J.Storm does it with some just clutch plays in the end from, Forev still doesn't have the best farm, but he hits a gigantic arrow, which forces the buyback. March makes the play of the game with that Nightmare save, and what a fun game too. Just in general, J.Storm was ahead most of it, but Aster, they had that one big fight in their base. All of a sudden, they're pushing barracks, and then oh no, we overcommitted too much, and then all of a sudden, J.Storm's in the other team's base, and that was just 5-on-5 Dota from like 20 minutes in. Like there was no split pushing. It was just mayhem.
That was insane.
I can't say enough about that March save, though. That Nightmare actually just won him the game, I think.
And this had started in a position where Aster had, I would say, a pretty significant laning advantage at the beginning, too.
For Aster, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and man, J.Storm just so freaking scrappy. A very impressive showing by them. You know, Aster, unfortunately, we will be bidding adieu from their major run, but J.Storm live on and move on now through that lower bracket.
And I think, we've been saying there's not many upsets, but that was definitely one of the bigger upsets, I would say, at least on paper. J.Storm beating Aster, so props to them.
Absolutely. Let's throw things back over to Red Eye and the panel to get their thoughts on that best of one.
Got it. Thanks, Grant. Thanks, Cuddle Guy, as well. What a brawl. It's nice when we get a brawly game like that because it's fun for us to watch. Not so enjoyable for the team that end up going out, which is Aster on this occasion. Yet to win a bracket match so far in the brand new season of the Dota Professional Circuit. However, it's J.Storm that march on in the lower bracket. Hey, got one pun in.
You stole my line.
What? Wait, how is that? Hang on, how is that your line? I mean, I'm happy if you want to take that pun. That's fine, Kyle.
Please go ahead.
That's above average for him.
Marching through.
I can't get my predictions going.
Right.
So you're gonna take my puns too. What in the hell do I bring to this panel?
Please, like, forget I've even done the intro. Kyle, what do you think of this game?
I don't want your pity. That was one of the weirdest Dota games
It was
I've
weird,
seen.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Back and forth, and no, they've lost it. Oh no, they've won this. Oh no, they've lost. Oh, they've won this. March as well at the end.
Yeah, I mean,
that was
finally.
March goal! He did have a few that weren't quite so good early on.
I was pretty tilted. There's this one engagement. Moo finally has his Bloodstone. I'm like, all right, he's tanking 4 heroes. I see March, he's saving the sleep. No, he used it aggressive, and Moo died to Scythe. Why? But he definitely made up for it. He had the save.
Yeah.
Then he gripped the Spectre. It looked like he had the talent, too. Like, that lasted forever.
long-ass group.
Maybe it's just the way the game was
game-changing
played.
at the end, though.
Yeah. Moo definitely MVP.
I mean, you said, right, all of you said, game-changing. They've got one on each side. They've got a game-changer player, and they've got a game-changer set of heroes.
Yeah.
If ever there was a game-changer on the Storm side, it's Moo, Timbersaw.
Yep. And he definitely played, I wouldn't say the game of his life. He's done better.
Played well,
but
this was on point.
I think his items were, like, correct. Like,
Yeah.
all the way through. Like, that pipe times out perfectly with the Radiance. And it's... I don't know. I predicted... Like, I thought Aster were going to win, but like a lot of games I predicted, when I start looking at the game, like back there, backstage, then like I just thought it looked a bit hard for them to do this. Like the Phoenix and the Timber.
The lanes were okay, though.
They were fine, but like the more the game developed, you saw that the egg was like a huge problem, and the Timber saw he kind of did whatever he wanted to do.
Yep.
And then there was this PL. Like he didn't, like his impact was not the highest maybe, but like you still have to deal with it.
Yeah, there's just so many low damage heroes on the side of Aster. Like Core Tiny just seems real underwhelming as the game continues, especially against heroes like Phoenix and Timber. There's just nothing you can do. And I don't know. I felt like J.Storm, to be honest, looked like at least the equal of Aster. I think their draft is better after watching the game play out, but I really felt like Aster underperformed. I don't know if that's because their mid player did worse than expected or because he's playing a Tiny, but
like the lane was so good for him the first 2 minutes. Like what I'm wondering is just why didn't they ban the PL the second phase? Like, I don't remember their bans, but they're picking and dying, and then you don't ban the PL. I don't know. It's definitely the worst hero to play against.
I don't know. I look at these kind of games, and you know, it's a scrappy game. I feel like both teams had good plays, but there were also a bunch of sloppy plays. And in these type of games, generally, like the actual reason why I predicted J.Storm to win the game was because I felt like they have the hero that's the strongest hero at, you know, 45, 50 minutes plus into the game, and that's the PL. And I wasn't a huge fan of his items. I think they were a little too defensive with the Abyssal, BKB, and Heart. But overall, like, at the end of the day, like, if you have scrappy Dota and you have one team who, the hero who, like, Spectre's just underwhelming nowadays later on in the game. I feel like Spectre, because of the Desolate nerf, like, she just doesn't do the damage that she used to, and now she's basically a damage soak, and that's just not enough.
It used to be you wanted to ignore a Spectre in a fight, but if you did, she'd kill everyone. Whereas now, just
you
felt
can
like
just ignore her.
Yeah, there's just no damage, and if you can't kill somebody before the egg or the sleep to save on the scythe, like, you just lost. And we saw that egg that died in the initial fight middle, but then the Shaker dies. He has no buyback. Very surprising that Baboka was positioned so aggressively, because that's really what broke open the game. He's dead for 2 minutes, and I feel like in these super late game scenarios, once your carries are 6-slotted, Aegis, Cheese, these don't really matter that much anymore, but your buyback cooldown does, and if you're a critical hero like an Earthshaker, you cannot be dead for 2 minutes. As the enemy side then uses their buybacks to walk straight down your mid lane.
It makes PL's game, like, free. Like, he literally can do whatever he wants if the Earthshaker's not there.
Timber, too. Like, that's their control. How does a Undying Necro position in a fight? Same with Spectre. Like, Baboka's their entire lockdown.
Scoreboard on the screen, and Moo standing out, of course, with 22, 6, and 17. I mean, not his best ever game on Tim. We've seen better games from him, but that's still pretty decent.
Yeah, they got it done. That's the main thing. They got it done.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, if you play these heroes like a lot, if you're a specialist at them, you're going to make the right decisions as the game goes on. Even if you make a few mishaps here and there, like, you're going to build the right items, you're going to play the game the way you're supposed to, and that's a level of experience. You got him second place to with Timbersaw. That's his standout hero. That's his signature stuff, and I love that they picked it. Like, even if it's not the perfect game, I mean, it's.
They snap picked it too. They were confident. That's how you got to play in a BO1. Come in with some sauce, hope it works.
Do you feel like Aster should have telegraphed that a little bit? I mean, it's been a popular pick.
We know that because we're NA. We like I've played with Move for a long time.
That's homework, isn't it?
Yes and no. You don't know the psyche of a player. The same way I wouldn't know playing against like an LGD or a Vici what their core has as their like bread and butter game on the line. I want this hero. It's just something that they probably weren't aware of.
And they're not exactly picking Timber a lot recently.
No,
either,
yeah,
so
exactly.
Not really
that's probably what they're seeing.
Right. Yeah, I think more meta than rather than player. Let's take a look at the MVP for you for this particular game, because of course it is the entire series being a best of 1.
Yay.
Who else could it be with 22 kills?
Yeah. What a guy.
Deserved.
I mean, you probably, if March had got a few more in the early game, he would have been a good MVP candidate, wouldn't he?
I mean, he could have played, like, if he got like 4 Reaper saves, you know, and they closed this game out and with that first Aegis. Sure, because he drafted this lineup too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What have you
did it though?
What have you made of him so far on his return? Looking a little bit rusty, is that fair to say?
I think that on his signature heroes, Spearbreaker Undying looks fine.
Right.
Does he play other heroes?
Bane.
Spearbreaker Undying.
Yeah, Bane.
Yeah, Bane.
Yeah.
I mean, he got the hang of it about 40, 50 minutes in. Takes some time. You're out of the scene for a while. You can't just step back in. It's one thing to make the major, beat the complexities and the BSJs of the world, but to come here, step up. They're going to have a tough task, I think, ahead of them. If I'm not mistaken, they play... they don't play EG, do they? I think they might.
No, I think forward.
No, forward.
If forward win, then I think they play EG.
Yeah.
But I'd have to double check that because sometimes it swaps, but it's supposed to swap, isn't it? If you're the bottom of the top bracket, you go to the top half of the other half.
Yeah.
The half of the bracket. Anyway, let's bring in one of the victors from J.Storm, who have managed to make their way through the lower bracket, and say hello to the MVP of this particular game as well. David, well done.
Oh, thank you, Paul.
Yeah, not just a good performance by the team, but a great performance by you on the signature hero.
It could have been better. You know.
Yeah, okay. Kyle said it could have been better. I was trying to be nice.
Emotions were a little high on the team. We got a few new players. And, you know, March coming back. It's, you can tell his little throws, both teams, but we pulled it together at the end. So
yeah, how do you remain calm in a game like that when it is sloppy and, you know, you kind of like, your team are making a few mistakes and you're like, oh, God, we're going to lose it. And then the other team makes some mistakes and you're like, oh, no, we're back. How do you stay calm in that?
You just got to keep playing your best. Like, if you make a mistake, you just make the next best play, you know? You just let it go.
All right. That's not... you're too calm for my liking.
I wasn't calm in the game.
I can definitely confirm that one.
A lot of people said... Thanks, Kyle. A lot of people said Aster were probably the big favourites of all the teams in the lower bracket because of the group that they came out with, the form that they've been in recently. Yes, they've changed a player, but what did you guys think when you get the draw and you think, oh, God, that's a tough draw, isn't it?
Actually, Aster's one of the teams we probably preferred to play in the bracket. Yeah, we thought we matched up against them pretty well, and we scrimmed them a few times, and it was okay. Like we got Aster, and we were like, yeah, okay, you know, this is okay.
So no worries.
Yeah, we didn't want to play against any of the other NA teams or probably some of the C teams.
Yeah, you played the NA teams too much. You know each other, right?
We don't like
every other team.
Every other team. Gents, what do you got for Moo?
I'm just wondering about like how early did you know you wanted Timbersaw?
Oh, that's my.
Gotcha. I think when they picked Spectre Undying, like no stuns, you know.
Oh, so that
we're thinking about it, right? We're thinking about it, but you can't just say like pick Timber now. You gotta just keep it in the back of your mind. You know, this could be a good pick.
Because Shaker is like you don't really want to play against him, right? It's
yes and no. If he's the only stun, then it doesn't matter.
How do you guys decide between you and Bryle who's playing like the hard farmer? I feel like
I can't reveal that. Sorry.
Okay. No. So you can't reveal why you don't play Brood either.
I play Brood. What are you talking about?
Oh no, like the game that you picked Brood.
The game you picked Brood. Like why wouldn't you play the Brood? Are you designated now? Like
I don't remember what hero we picked other than Brood. It was.
I believe it was Terrorblade, right?
Yeah, I think that Bryle would prefer to play Brood over Terrorblade, but. I don't really know.
Sorry,
we
not trying to reveal your strats.
We could have swapped. It was weird, you know. It wasn't a great game, so.
Okay. Mr. Former teammate, have you got any questions?
I was just curious about the first 2 Mirana. I feel like that's a real NA move. I didn't know if that was like just that comfort because you guys all play it, or do we still think that's a good hero?
Can't answer that entire question, but it was part of our prep that we thought Mirana would be good versus them. This is why we picked it.
All right.
No, good stuff.
I've seen worse.
Good.
Ogre Weaver comes to mind.
Pilot, I reckon he's seen worse, so you're all good. One final question: how's March doing? I sort of asked the question to the panel earlier on. Is he still a bit rusty on his signature heroes? It looks really good, but how is it from internal? What's it like having the man around?
March actually takes criticism the best out of anyone I've ever played with. Right. So that makes it like, obviously he has a couple good heroes that he's very good with, and then he needs to work on the rest of his heroes. But it's pretty easy when you can just flame him upright. Yeah.
He doesn't take offense.
He takes it like a champ, you know.
Good stuff. All right, well, congrats, good win, and we'll see you again in the lower bracket.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, well done.
Congrats,
Moo and J.Storm moving on, perhaps against the odds, but according to them, not that much. They were quite happy to play Aster. That's a good sign.
Be real, the moment I said Aster was going to win, they had it sealed up.
I mean,
why do you think?
I'm actually starting
Kyle
to feel
Curse.
fan.
Yeah, we used to have the Orikyle, now we have the Kyle Curse.
Yeah.
It's
Either way,
working well.
the point is I've got
science.
powers, so don't mess with me.
All right, we're going to take a look at some of the Timbersaw highlights from our MVP in that last game, as we finish things off in this particular best of one. What do you make of these best of ones? Because I haven't really spoken to Johan. I haven't really. You've been in them. You've seen them, and they're bloody horrible as players. But have you got a different perspective now?
Well, you want to say something?
Well, I think BO1s are fine. I feel like the way we get to the BO1s is more of the concern.
Okay, but that could be a whole program right there.
Well, yeah, I like.
It's a whole show of its own, Kyle.
More often than not, I think the better team wins the BO1. It's
really?
not. Yeah, really.
No,
Okay,
that's
interesting.
True. That's definitely true.
Because usually it just means, like, first off, it's like a game 3 in a BO3, right? The better team usually wins that. You just skip those first two. Yeah. The pressure's on, one game to win, and realistically, everyone knows the cheese. If you get booted or Huskard, like, you messed up, you would have lost in the next series as well.
People would argue that Tim's a little bit cheesy.
Sure, but this game,
I mean, this line, like, you can say that this draft was kind of lost earlier than that too. Like they ended up with the Phoenix versus Spectre. Like they picked Spectre into Phoenix.
I don't know. You first round the Phoenix and they don't have anything that hits egg.
Yeah, and then too, you let them appeal when you have a first round on dying. So like they already messed up a bunch.
I think that's a really good point. Like they kind of drafted themselves into a hole. If you can't kill egg. And like we talked about the concept of the egg versus the tomb and how they both want to just drop this rock and win a team fight through it. You can't deal with the enemy teams, and they can, without much investment whatsoever, kill yours. It's just the equilibrium in team fights was just always going to be in J.Storm's favor.
Okay, we're going to take a break right now. I'd love to carry on the conversation again. We've had a lot to say. Trust me, in the background, we've had a lot to say about formats and all sorts of other things. Hopefully, we'll get a chance. At some point, there'll be a technical issue or a pause, and we'll just come back and we'll do a show. It's fine. For now, though, we are headed to a break because we've got one more game to go. Our final best of one of the lower bracket is coming after this.
Coming up next, Gambit Esports versus Forward Gaming.
Hey everybody, Slacks here with the wonderful Team Secret. How we doing today, boys?
Doing all right.
A thumbs up. All right. That's about as good as we're going to get. Thank you so much. Today we're going to sharing a little culture today. I thought I'd teach you guys something you might not know about. Are you guys familiar with Chinese memes?
No.
No. Well, I've got the hottest mei-meis here from China. I'm going to teach you what they mean. The goal is I will show you a picture. You must guess what it could possibly be like. Number one, are you ready? Our first image. Take a good look, gentlemen. What do you believe this means? Hard look. Give me a guess as a team. What do we got?
Wait, do we each have to guess?
No, you just decide as a team.
Guess, like, think what does it look like? Come on, Yazid. It looks like every time you want to go piss. This is what it looks like.
I'm not shy.
All right.
Oh, you're pretty shy.
Okay, I need to pee. It is actually, oh, I can't believe you would choose me. Why would you even choose me in a romantic situation? It's a shy person.
To pee.
No, not to Pete. Thank you very much. This is a great one right here. All right? Beautiful picture. Gentlemen, what does this mean? This is a little tough. I want to see how good you are.
That is a cigarette, right?
Yeah.
There is a cigarette. Yeah. What does it mean?
And it's a panda.
Mm-hmm.
The cross as well?
I think that's just part of the art.
I feel like he's religious.
Maybe, no, but that looks like the Antichrist.
I feel like it's about Jesus.
Maybe, but it's like the opposite of a cross.
No, it's not the Antichrist. This one means...
It might be.
This one means the federal government should research your face in order to make an effective bulletproof vest.
That's what I said.
That's very close, Si.
Oh, you're right.
It did try.
All
right, great.
That was good.
Next one here. This is a good one right here. Gentlemen, what does this mean?
I mean, looks like I'm done. Type
Close.
Of thing.
Kill me.
Kill me and I'm done. This actually means I'd rather die than go to work today.
Yeah, okay.
So, very good. I'll give you a point for that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is one of my favorites here. This is a fantastic one that we absolutely need in the States. Gentlemen, what's this one mean?
Is that a gun?
No, that's a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
We're over, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I feel like over, this guy up. Let's go. Because he's looking at something, right?
Yeah, it's like calling it a,
airstrike, like
UAV online or whatever.
Okay, no, it's not UAV is online. This one is, they use it when they need to go poop. If they're talking to someone, as if to say, hey, don't go anywhere, I just need to go poop and I'll come right back. How about this one? This is a quickie, guys. You should be able, we're getting easier now.
What is that on his?
Hold on, what was that?
But he's cheating.
No.
Come on, what? You had it.
I'll give it to mid one.
Mid one?
All right, you have to control yourself.
Yes. Control yourself.
Man, mid one's just cheating, man. I know mid one's cheating.
All right. This is a very good one. I actually want to use this one in real life. What does this one mean?
It's probably not going to be
It's
at all.
something related to poop because he liked that one too.
I don't like poop. Why would you say that? You're ruining the...
I am going to poop.
No.
That's probably what it means.
Wait.
Real guess. Come on.
Give me 5.
Give me 5. No. This means calm the hell down.
We don't have that one in English. We can't say that.
Kind of do, like, take a chill pill.
Close, yes. That's very good. All right. Last and certainly not least, this is the favorite one of mine. May have seen this image before, in fact. Gentlemen.
I haven't had too much KFC.
I've had too much KFC. No, incorrect. Incorrect.
And I'm pooping.
I am pooping. No. Do you have any guesses, gentlemen?
KFC delivery.
No, it's not KFC delivery.
This is pretty long. Panda Express.
No, okay, we're going to stop it right here. This one actually means that although my girlfriend thinks that she is the most important thing, I will always... It's not KFC. I will always choose the video game over her, and she doesn't realize it. That's what this one means.
I think it should mean KFC, though.
Okay, great, guys. Great content. Thank you so much for coming. And Team Secret, there you go. Learn a little bit about people around the world. Thanks for watching.